Yes, big up, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. The Premier League fan debate is back this evening, and I've got an elite panel with me. Big up to everybody who's come over from Just Joe. I'm sure Joe will be joining us in some format tonight, so that I'll look forward to. And thank you so much for all of you for being here now. Big up to Dave. Big up to Lil Dan, who's back in the house. Big up to Emilio. Big up to Connor. And big up to Natalie, who's back, which is great to see. Listen, we're going to go through some of our weekend previews, what we've got coming up individually this weekend. And I'm going to start with Natalie and Lil Dan because they don't have long. But before we do that, guys, open panel question. Kylian Mbappe is leaving PSG, or is he? I've heard this before and it didn't happen. Real Madrid bound, they reckon. Arsenal and Liverpool being linked. I wish. What do we see happening here, Lil Dan? Do we see him going this time to Real Madrid, or do you think this is all him throwing his toys out of prime again? Like, what's going on, bro?
If he doesn't leave this time, he's never leaving, is he? Then he's going to keep pumping his wallet full of Saudi money for the rest of his career. For me, he needs to leave PSG and finally make that move, whether it's to Real Madrid or the Premier League, which is the elite league still in world football.
Yeah, facts, man. Dave, are you thinking this is the time that it will happen now?
Do you know what? I haven't really given it much thought, to be fair. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I'm sitting down the bottom of the league, not worrying about what everybody else is doing, and I'm not really looking at PSG. So I'm just going to be honest. I don't know where he's going to go. Is he just playing around for it? Does he really want to move? I just don't know. So I'm probably not the best person to ask that one tonight, I'm afraid.
Look, Emilio, I'm going to ask you because obviously, as a Napoli fan, you've seen some top quality over there with Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, players like that. Kylian Mbappe has thrown his toys out the pram before, but I just don't know. I think there's something about this one this time that there's only so many times that you can actually say you're going to go before you actually do. And I don't think that staying at PSG is an option for him, man. I think PSG needs to move on from him, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, if he what that little Dan was saying, if he wants to be recognised as that world class player that he is, and he needs to stop winning European trophies, right? And PSG is not going to get that. So it goes back to like Harry Kane, where he's gone to Bayern Munich. Look, they're second in the league. So is it coincidental that Bayern Munich aren't running away with the league this season? But I'm just putting it out there. But yeah, at the end of the day, he wants to win trophies and European trophies. He's probably not going to do that PSG. So 25 now? 25 years old. Time to make that step up. Premier League is the league which is the most competitive, but who can realistically afford him? Who's going to have Arsenal got the money to pay 200 million quid a year, whatever it is he's asking for in wages. So clearly, let's see. I don't think it's speculation. It's probably fact. You know what he's like. He's can be a bit of a prima donna, high maintenance. But is he the player for you, Dan? Is he going to be what you need? Or is he going to be?
I'd take him tomorrow, mate. I think he's the best player in the world. But whether we're going to be able to get him, I don't know.
Where are you going to get that money from?
Well, I mean, Miguel Delaney came out yesterday or the day before saying that Arsenal and Liverpool turned down the opportunity to sign Kylian Mbappe because it would completely destroy the financial structure of the club. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not. I think it's all a load of crap, if I'm honest. I don't think Arsenal and Liverpool have tried to. I think if they have had an opportunity to sign Kylian Mbappe, you take it, don't you? If you're a big club or if you think you're a big club, you try to make it happen. I don't see that we are. I think Real Madrid, he has told everybody he wants to go Real Madrid. Real Madrid is the option for him. It makes sense. I think he's going there. Would I take him at Arsenal? Of course I would. Like, he's an unbelievable player. And, people say we need a centre forward. Well, I'm sure you can make it work with Kylian Mbappe. Right now, there's Haaland and Mbappe. And if they're playing at Man City and Arsenal, there's a chance for me that we've got an even bigger chance of winning the league. But I just don't think. I mean, they're saying that he's looking at Arsenal and trying to follow the footsteps of Thierry Henry and that he wouldn't say no to Arsenal. I think it's a lot of paper talk, man. I think he's going to be Madrid bound, and I think Real Madrid have made it clear they want him. And let's be real, people. He's going to make Real Madrid better. With him and Vinicius Junior and Jude Bellingham behind. I mean, that is a pretty worrying front three. It's going to be crazy in my opinion. But look, Man City aren't being spoken about. They can another team that can afford him. I mean, if they want to go and destroy English football even more, then Mbappe and Haaland together, that will probably do it. So
they might be relegated. There might be a championship team next season if they get any deductions.
Yeah, can you imagine? Haaland and Mbappe in the Championship would be quite funny, I must admit. But no, listen, he is going to go, and I think it is going to be a Real Madrid player by the summer. Let's talk Premier League football, though. Natalie, let's start with you. You've got a massive the weekend with an incredibly good team coming to you. We are here in the house, and I want to know your thoughts about this one, man. Obviously, when we play each other, we always have a good chat. I normally get to appear on your channel. You come on here, and yeah, it's not been the best of seasons for you so far. But do you have any confidence of the way that you're playing at the moment that you could cause some problems for us at the weekend?
I've not got any confidence that the team can find the way out of the dressing room and onto the pitch right now. Never mind do anything on the pitch. So I'm not really sure that is. Just before we get on to this, I tell you what, just picking up on this, I don't want to just derail it, but I tell you what would be a massively ambitious step if Newcastle tried to get Mbappe.
Oh, yeah, wow.
They can afford it. They are looking like they're getting to that stage that they wanted at the beginning of the season where they might get rid of, what's he called? Used to manage Burnley. My brain's gone today.
Eddie Howe.
Yeah, and get a big name. They wanted to do that straight away, but unfortunately, he made it impossible for them to do it because he's performed incredible things. Wheels are falling off a little bit there. And if they can get Mbappe and a massive European manager out, that would be an ambitious statement. Anyway, moving on to the Premier League. This has just been a really miserable season. I'm really hating it. The team is just it's not gelling well. It's a team that doesn't look like it's ever played together before, yet we've only got 14 games left. The manager's disengaged, the fans are disengaged. There's been a breakdown in any sort of good feeling or good spirit. And it's just really frustrating as a Burnley fan that we went from having an incredible close bond with our new manager and a new group of players. We tore up the Championship last year. We were incredible in the Championship last season. Like it was such a tight-knit team, and it was such a good team, and it was such a great spirit. And Company just ripped it all up in the summer, brought in a team that none of us know, none of us have done, then have tinkered with that team all season, got his ass handed to him every single game, not learned any from any of his mistakes. And we're just on our way back to the Championship and having to start again. And it feels like last season never happened. So I don't really know where we are. I couldn't tell you what our DNA is. I couldn't tell you what our strategy is, what our plan is, what the ethos of our team is. Couldn't tell you who's going to be playing for us next season. And it just feels like another end of an era, albeit why after just 2 years. It's a really odd feeling.
Well, as long as you're happy, Ness.
Oh yeah, I'm great. I'm loving it.
I mean,
listen, normally I'm all right. This has been a bad season for me to come back into the Premier League and back into.
Are you surprised though, Nats? Like, because I tell you, like, there was a lot of people bigging up Vincent Kompany and the way that he played football, and they all thought that because you smashed the Championship, you'd be able to just get that and it will work in the Premier League. And I've got to say, I'm slightly surprised because there was a lot of people predicting you to get high up the table, sort of 12th, 13th, 14th. I know it's not high up the table, but you get my point.
It's for us.
Exactly. So you would have taken 12th, 13th, 14th for 100%, right?
But 17th on goal difference.
Well, there you go. I've been disappointed by Vincent Kompany and Burnley, man. I really thought we were going to see a lot better from them, and I don't know if it is yet to come. I've just been disappointed by a lot from them, to be fair.
Yeah, we've been really poor. Really poor. We've not brought anything across from. Sorry, Joe. Hello.
No, Nat, do you know what I was going to say, though? Do you not respect your board, though? Because a lot of boards would have pulled the trigger. I think it's really smart because you go back down, Company's still there, you then come up, and then the next time you'll be stronger for it. Do you see what I'm saying?
You did that under Deutsch, didn't you, to be fair?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's two things that I would say with Joe, and I completely agree with you. Do I want us to become an unstable club that sack their manager all the time and don't build on things? No, I definitely don't. Name me another manager in any football league that loses 17, or we're now 18 games in any one season and isn't under pressure. And if he's not, why not? I think that's a very interesting question. So then you look at it and you say, well, why isn't he under pressure? This only works if we believe the message that's being put forward by our board that this is a 3-year plan. When we got relegated, they brought Vincent Kompany in and his new players. We're supposed to have created a 3-year plan where we would be promoted to the Premier League at the end of that 3 years. We got promoted 2 years ahead of schedule. The squad that we've got wasn't ready. The players that we got wasn't ready. So we are ahead of schedule and we just need to survive and carry on when we go back down. That only works if, when we go down in the summer, the current squad stays as it is and we don't have a fire sale and we don't bring in another new 16 players and loan players to start again in the Championship. If that is the case, you're in a perpetual cycle of always having a new developing squad that are at the beginning of their cycle, need to learn, need to develop. Well, then the 3-year plan just keeps getting kicked. The can just keeps getting kicked down the road all the time. So that will need to be seen. If when we get there in the summer, this squad stays together, probably with the exception of, I would say, maybe Sander Berge and Foster, they're too good for this league, they'll go. But if the bulk of this squad stays together and significantly Vincent Kompany stays, then I believe that. And yes, I back the board. There is a problem with this, and this is what I will criticise Kompany for, and I'm a little bit concerned about. We have given Vincent Kompany a free shot at learning how to be a Premier League manager at our league expense. Okay, let's be very clear about that's exactly what's happened. We hired Vincent Kompany with 0 Premier League experience. Absolutely fine. We then thought it was unfair to sack him if he then doesn't perform in the Premier League. I think that's very honourable, and I back the board for that. He has refused to adapt his preferred style of football, even though he does not have the players to play the Man City Pep Guardiola football he wants to play clearly. He has refused to move from that to protect his own brand. Premier League chairman appoint managers based on style of play, not on results. That's why Sean Dyche was never picked for any of the big jobs, because he got these phenomenal results, but everybody was like dinosaur football. He never got the jobs. Vincent Kompany is the opposite of that. He plays this incredible, expansive football, and Dave will testify this. Last season, it was incredible in the Championship. He has refused to tighten up in the Premier League to get us to just get 17th because he doesn't want to risk his reputation being ruined. If he then goes in the summer, there will be hell to pay, because he needs to reward the loyalty that we have given him this year to say, you will not get sacked. You're the safest manager in the whole of the Football League, and we will let you have a free shot at learning how to be a Premier League footballer. I'm already not looking forward to coming back up again the season after and having another season in the Premier League under Vincent Kompany. That tells you a lot.
Wow.
I rest my case.
Interesting, man. Interesting. I mean,
I'm not in a good mood this week. I'm sorry. This is
I can tell, man. This is a Natalie I've not seen for a while, I've got to say. But this is what happens, isn't it, when you get to the stage? I mean, Joe's very, very cocky, he's smiling, he's confident.
I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. Do you know what I mean? I get it. I'm absolutely buzzing right now. So it's what it is.
I must say, man, it's mad. Like, I look at you from last season and you were like this, Joe. Do you know what I mean? Oh, my God, what's happening to us? This is not going. And it looks like Leeds are going straight back up, bro. So, yeah, we'll see.
It's a tough championship this year, Joe. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It wasn't like that for us last year, was it, Dave?
Oh. The mad thing is, Southampton.
I think it was really tough when we were in it. I don't want that crap coming out tonight. I think we would breeze it if we were back down there.
Yeah. You and us, first and second, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe, carry on.
I don't mind.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Listen, the mad thing is, right?
Club.
Southampton have just gone on a 25 game undefeated.
22.
Was it?
Yeah, they didn't hit our record. So we have the record for 23 games and they missed it. And we laughed.
22.
Sorry.
No, correct me. It's fine. 22, and they're in third. That's how good it is at the top. How can you go undefeated for 22 games and then find yourself in third? It's mad. But what it does show as well is the disparity between Premier League and Championships getting too big as well. Massive. Like, because us three that have gone down are just fucking streets ahead of the rest, like streets ahead.
Yeah.
And if that's going to continue, then there's only ever going to be a couple of playoff spots available unless you get mega money. And then who's investing mega money in a Championship team? It's going to be quite difficult, I think, moving forward.
We'll do the same next year. Yeah, we walked the Championship last year because we had more money than anybody else. And Norwich and Watford, when we got relegated with them, they really struggled and they didn't get anywhere near it. And it was us, Sheffield United and Luton, who really performed well. Next season, I go down and I fully expect we'll be strong again. I was genuinely shocked to see the difference in standard in the Premier League in just 12 months of being missing. Like we went down and it only took us a year to come back up again. And the difference in the size, like your Brentfords, your Brightons, West West Ham's and like some of these sides. Forest is, who was supposed to be one of our relegation rivals, are streets ahead of us. And it's, unless there's some help from the FA in terms of points deductions, that's probably going to be the 3 promoted sides who go back down again, or at least it'll be between Luton and Everton and Forest fighting it out for those 3. But it's been a while since none of the promoted sides managed to stay up. Must be about 5 or 6 years since that happened.
Don't apologise for people cheating either, Natalie. You get what you deserved in this game.
No, that's true. Yeah, that is true, actually. And actually, I think that is a really good point. It's like, I don't feel sorry for Everton because even though they have got Dash there, because we got relegated the year that they cheated those points. So,
Connor's smiling politely. Connor's like, yeah, okay, we'll come on to Everton in a minute. And Dave, listen, do you reckon that Luton going down? Dave's like, I'm not having it, man.
I don't actually. No, I don't. I don't think they will. And actually, to be fair, at the beginning of the season, it was very much us or them mentality. So I couldn't bring myself to do anything. Now that us and Sheffield United are absolutely doomed, there's no way we're getting out of this. I'm Team Luton all the way. I would blooming love them to survive. That would be great. Because I remember this season. I remember 2016, the first season we stayed up after going up and down, and it's an amazing feeling. So yeah, I'm now Team Luton all the way.
Yeah, man, I
Weird,
think
it's pretty weird because you're sitting there depressed about your team being, down the bottom there, and I'm sitting here having the time of my life, and we're only 1 place or 2 places above you, or 1 place above you. It's a crazy situation, and I'm really positive about our team and our squad and our manager because the togetherness at Luton Town is unbelievable.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Even despite the weekend result, it's unbelievable. So I'm having the time of my life in the Premier League. I want it to stay here for a little bit longer, please.
I hope it does. I really hope. And your second season's a really good season as well because you've just got. It's still. I think second season's hard. Probably harder than your first, really. But yeah, and also as well, I think if you do stay up, the difficulty will be there's 3 really strong sides coming back up from the Championship next year, so it's going to be tough down at the bottom next year.
We don't plan that far ahead, I don't think. We'll wait and see what happens.
It's about expectations, though, isn't it, Dave? Like we went up with a fanfare, and we were told that we were getting Vincent Kompany and all of these players because we were aiming for a long time in the Premier League and staying up there and pushing to stop being a relegation threatened side every year, and we wanted to try and push to be getting mid-table security for a good few years and keep kicking on. And we've not even showed. We've been invisible to the point where I think most people have forgotten we're still in the league now. It reminds me. I'm very much reminded of Norwich from a few years ago. Do you remember that really poor season Norwich had when they were not in any game and they became irrelevant? That's us this year. We're in irrelevance, and even the media loving about Vincent Kompany and like he won't get criticised in the major media because his friends are there, and I put him very much in the Lampard, Rooney, Steven Gerrard brigade for that. It's his friends who won't criticise him, but nobody's talking about us because we're just in irrelevance this season. It's so disappointing how we've approached this year. I hate it.
That is so true, because I was just going to ask you that before you brought it up. No one speaks about him. I spoke on my channel before because when he were doing well, they were talking about him for Spurs' job. Now he's doing terrible in the league, which he is, right? And
he's awful.
I think no one is like, and maybe I take it personal because I think about like how much stick Bielsa got because it's like, oh, he didn't speak English, oh, he's too gung ho and all that. And then you've got someone like Vincent, who's I get he's an amazing pro and mates with them all, but there is literally nothing being said about him at all. And it is frustrating, and it must be frustrating for those that are down there, maybe like Dave, even Connor, etc. It's like, well, is he just getting a free ride or what? Because he played well at City. It is a bit frustrating. I can't lie.
Totally.
And nobody's talking like the media aren't putting him under any pressure either. He's not accountable for anything this season, and it's the weirdest thing because like we've lost. Is it 17 games we've lost this season so far? It might even be 18. 17 games we've lost this season. That's appalling. Like managers are being talked about the sack race after 10 losses, 8 losses.
I totally agree. And I feel like if you look around you, Nats, right, you've got Sheffield United, like, right, get him gone, bring in Chris Wilder. You've got Crystal Palace, like, yeah, Hodgson, see you later. Forest, Steve Cooper, see you later. Vincent Kompany, I mean, you haven't been out of the relegation zone for all of the season, pretty much.
No, we haven't.
And it's like, he's got credit in the bank. He played for City. He's Pep's boy. Keep him. I don't get it, man. I don't understand what I've seen.
Our board are infatuated by him as well, which doesn't help. I think he's getting... Now, listen, I did say this at the beginning of the show, and I do stand by this. If this 3-year plan that's being talked about is genuine, is being followed through, there's loyalty on all sides, and we genuinely are going to be okay in 3 years' time, absolutely fine. But you are not telling me that we get relegated this season and we keep Lyle Foster, we keep Sander Berge, we keep Koleosho, we keep Amdouni, like Wilson Odobert, these incredible players who are way too good for the Championship. So then what are we left with? We've still got Charlie Taylor, Jack Court, like we've still got Josh Brownhill, we've got Jay up front, we've got these players like Vitinho and these and Josh Cullen, who's not even played all season. The team that got us up promoted are just not there anymore. And it's like, well, what have we got left? We've got a shell in year 3 of the 3-year plan, and we've now got to bring in another 16 players because we've got to start a Championship campaign with no players. Well, that to me makes this 3-year plan ahead of schedule an utter nonsense, and I feel like we're being fed an excuse right now because the board either A, can't afford to, or B, don't want to sack Kompany. And it's all going to come out in the summer. I'm telling you now, it'll come out in the summer.
Interesting, man. Listen, that's before we let you shoot off. I'm not going this weekend. I'm doing a watch along on AFTV, so I won't be able to join you and have a Benny and Hot with you. But I want to get a prediction off of you, man. What are you going for?
Like 35-0 or something ridiculous. I don't know. If we get a shot on target in both halves, I'll be delighted. I just don't think we will. It'll be one of the easiest games you've played all season. We're just not in. We're not in any games that we are in at the moment, and that to me is probably my most disappointing thing this season. Fair enough, we didn't play attractive football, but Burnley have always known for being fighters and being in games and not giving up and having a together attitude. We have been flaky and not in any game and not competing all season. So it'll be a training exercise for you. 4-0 Arsenal. Whatever.
No more than 6, so it can't be as bad as West Ham. That's the worst I've seen.
Well,
that was absolute shambles.
I've seen the songs who put the ball in the Arsenal net, in the West Ham net. Half the team did. That has got to be one of the greatest football chants I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry, that was very funny.
Love it, man. Love it.
Excellent.
Love it.
So sorry to eat and run, guys, but best of luck, everybody. Dave, I'll catch up with you soon, but stay up because I want you to. I'm back in Luton, and Joe, we'll swap places next year. I'll keep it warm for me.
Big
See
up,
everyone.
Take it easy.
Guys, bye.
Listen, make sure you go over to No Name Never podcast and follow Natalie on all things Burnley. Little Dan, let me come to you, bro. It weren't long ago that people were saying that Wolves are going to be tipped to go down, man. But Gary O'Neill, to be fair, has completely turned it around. Start of the season, there's a lot of people that thought Wolves and Bournemouth were going to struggle. And I think Wolves and Bournemouth, to be fair to them, have both proven everybody wrong. I think Gary O'Neill and Areola are definitely the right people at the moment for the job. And it's looking like, Wolves, top half of the table, bro. Problem with that, bruv, everyone's linked with Pedro Neto again. I want him so badly, man. I've told you this for about 2 years now that I want Pedro Neto at Arsenal, and I've wanted him there for ages. I understand the injury problems. I get it. But I think he's top, man. I really do. So Wolves looking up, bruv.
Yeah, things are positive. Like you mentioned, Iraola at Bournemouth there. I think Wolves and Bournemouth are probably the two teams this season who have taken the league by surprise, really. Iraola weathered a bit of a storm, but we're both, like you just said, both touching top half at the moment, trying to give Chelsea a run for that 10th place finish. I think we're going to struggle to finish any higher than that. What the fuck are you smirking at, Joe?
Mate, listen, Dan, I was going to say you can tell you're doing well because what's happened to sketchy Wi-Fi? You've come with bucket hat on, glasses, man, like you're raving in Manchester.
We're moving things. We're moving bricks now, Wolves are. Things are positive again at Wolves. Gary O'Neill's built a bond with the players. Got some good results over the recent months. But then classic Wolves turn up last week. We got Brentford at home, expecting to turn up and get the win, and we got absolutely just played off the park physically, tactically, and that scuppered any sort of unrealistic dreams of getting that Europa Conference League place. We're still in the FA Cup, which is pipe dream, but get past Brighton at home. You're in the quarterfinal. I back us against the majority of teams at Molineux at the moment. If we can avoid sort of Liverpool, Man City away, if we get past Brighton, you one game away from Wembley then again. So, yeah, there's positivity around the club. And like you just said, Neto's being linked to decent teams. I had a conversation with a guy at work today, and I think it's only really Arsenal who genuinely benefit by Pedro Neto joining them. You could mention sort of Liverpool, Man City. He doesn't play regularly enough.
Spurs, though,
those
they
guys.
reckon as well, don't they? That's the
Yeah,
problem. But surely you pick us over Spurs, surely.
yeah, I'd expect so. I mean, there is like the old interview that he was an Arsenal fan growing up. I mean, obviously money talks and whatnot, but I mean, there'll be some Arsenal fans who think I'm smoking spice, but I genuinely think he's better than Martinelli for that left wing role, and I think that's sort of that pace that he brings. Now Martinelli's got it in abundance, but the way that he can move with the ball quickly is a special talent. It's just whether Arsenal are willing to pay the money for Neto that Wolves are going to want.
What is he going to be?
I personally think sort of 60 million plus for him, but
I thought it'd be about 50 or 60, I must admit.
but it wouldn't surprise me if Wolves did let him go for around 45, 50 mark. If there was maybe a player that comes in return, it'd be interesting to see how that ends up in the summer, because, like you said, he's a quality player. Hopefully, he's got over his injury niggles that he suffered over the last few years, and he's a player there now. As much as it begrudges me, it's similar to Neves, that he needs to be playing at a higher level, and obviously Neto isn't going to be going to Saudi anytime soon. I
was going to say Saudi.
Would you take any of our squad players though, Dan? Like real?
I mean, but who are you even comparing as a squad player there? Because the only name that really springs out to me is probably Nketiah, Dan.
Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira.
Wolves were rumoured to have made an approach for Emil Smith Rowe last January. Be a bit far-fetched. Not sure who else really we could coax into coming to Wolves. Obviously, without the lure of European football, it's a tough ask. I think it's only really Nketiah who I'd be keen to get, because we are still missing a natural number 9.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I think Martinelli's unreal, but what I will say is Pedro Neto, one, he's an absolute baller, and I actually think with both of his feet and to play both sides, he probably is better than Martinelli in terms of his position play. But Martinelli, for me, when everyone's on fire, I think he's unbelievable on the left. I mean, he's just ridiculously good, man. But listen, we need someone to help Saka out, because he's the only one we've got on the right. Because Nelson, he just ain't trusting him, and he ain't using him, and he ain't been able to cut the mustard there. But I've been impressed with Wolves, man. I must say, this season they've been ones that have really surprised me, because I felt like under Gary O'Neill, I didn't know what they were going to get. I felt like he had some time at Bournemouth, but actually, I've really been appreciative of what he's done. And I think the way he comes across is great. But also, Wolves have been absolutely mugged off with VAR this season, man. And I know that we all have been a bit, and like, you know, we can all say 2 or 3 games potentially that we've been screwed over. But Wolves have probably had 6, maybe even 7 games, which have been clear-cut shockers, like ridiculous. And it ain't even like they were 4-1 down at the time, so it would have been 4-2 if they would have scored. Like, it was like genuine, like, sort of would have won you or lost you a game. And it started from the Onana nonsense in the first game of the season right the way through. It's just been crazy, man. So they might, to get them 10th, they might even be higher in the league if some of those decisions would have gone their way. And if I'm honest with you, bro, I'd love you to finish above Chelsea, because I can't stand them, man. Honestly, their fans are absolutely embarrassing. How bad you can be to spend €1 billion and still like struggle to get into the top half. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is. And yeah, anyway, I'd love to see you do it, man. I really would.
We've got him in FA Cup as well, Dan. So,
do you know what? This is what makes me laugh. And I know you're going for the Prem, Joe, right? And I know you want it, and you probably go get out the FA Cup and go just get us in the Prem. But I would love you to beat them so much, because their fans are like, oh, that's easy. We're through that game. That's an easy game against Leeds. We'll go through. I hope you beat them. They got done by Middlesbrough, by the way. Do you remember that in the first leg?
Yeah, but we're down at Stamford Bridge though, but they won't be beating us 7-0. They won't. But I think they'll beat us, but we'll give them a good game, I think. For sure.
Mate, you're scoring goals though, bro. Leeds are scoring goals, man. So you know it's a chance, man. I'd just love to see them knocked out. Their fans are just unbelievable. Like they really are. Like it's always someone else. I can't stand Chelsea. I really can't stand them. But there we go. Listen, Dave, let me come to you next quick. Bro, that was the shock of the weekend. I really thought you'd do them, man. I really thought you'd do them. And I looked at soccer Saturday. I was around my family's. My niece was annoying because she wanted to play on something while I was putting the scores on. So I was like, no way. I put the soccer Saturday on and I thought, oh, you're joking me. This scoreline really shocked me, man. And it's not because, Sheffield United can't win games of football anymore, but Luton at home, I just really fancied you, man. What happened, bro?
We got out Lutoned, I think, from the beginning of the match. They had less possession than us, but they were well organised. Their match plan was good. They didn't give us any space. They were closing us down super quick. We had 76% possession, but didn't create, those really big chances. We could have been 3-0 down in the first 6 minutes. That's how good they started. They missed a really good shot with McAtee. I don't know how they didn't score. They were an open goal almost and kicked it wide. And at this point, you're going, this is not what we expected. Because I think we went off the back of that. We went off the back of really 2 good games for us, Brighton and then Newcastle. And we're thinking we've got a chance here. And you look at the league position and you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't look at the bottom teams and go, well, we should beat them. We're only Luton Town, let's be fair. And I've just got to put it up to Sheffield United. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. And they played incredibly well. VAR turned it around, I think, just before half time when we were 1 down and give a penalty when someone's falling over backwards and their arm goes up in the air, As we've said, VAR, bit crap. And then we get a penalty back. So if we go in at 1-0, I think we've got a better chance. We're going at 2-0. Then you get a quick goal and then you concede. And then from there on in, we weren't getting another one. And they just shut up shop. They managed the game super well. And as much as I hate seeing it, because I know we do it occasionally, rolling around injured, slowing the game down, they had every single plan they put into place on Saturday was them. So I don't want to say Luton were terrible. I think Sheffield United, for a change, were pretty good at their game plan and they played a good game. But I was gutted because, listen, that would have been a different thing for us. We'd have been 13 points clear of them, and now we're just 7. And we've got 2. We've got Manchester United and Liverpool next, and then Aston Villa. So, in 3 games' time, we could be well in that bottom 3. So I was gutted. Well, I was totally gutted. I couldn't believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe that. I think we had something like 20 shots. They had 5, 6. They took their big chances. We didn't take ours, and they shut up shop. So Wilder done a good job on Luton Town, out Luton totally, and it just didn't feel like it's felt the last few games. Even the games we've lost in the past at home, we've give people a good game. Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham, all those teams that have come to our place, we've given them a good game, and this one wasn't. And it's ironic that we've lost 2 of the games that we've lost are the 2 teams that come up with us, and we've lost to them both at home, which is kind of disappointing given their position. But, like I said earlier, I'm still enjoying it. We should have done better. And I think it's all down to them, not us. I think you've got to give Sheffield United credit here. If Nick was on, I'd be telling him that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I just, I think also there was a lot of fans who went there thinking this is going to be an easy game. And it wasn't. It just was totally the opposite. And I think had you switched the colours around, I said that's how Luton would have played that game at Sheffield or somewhere else. I'm disappointed. But you walk away and it's not defining our season. We're still going to finish above them. We have to finish above them. We've got to worry about the teams above us. And luckily, the teams above us didn't perform well either. So, we've still got that chance. We win our game in hand. We can bump up a few places. But I think it was more that. I think it was more disappointment that it was, we're playing Manchester United the weekend. If we're on our form, we might get a result. We might get a result. If Manchester United were as bad as they were a few weeks ago, we might get a result. But when you're playing Sheffield United, who you played last season as well, you're going, we can get a result. There's a difference there. And we went in full of that and we just didn't perform. And the players know they didn't perform. And I think going forward, we've just got to hope that, they don't win as many as we do now. And, we can bounce up just a couple of places would be nice. It would be nice. And, win the game in hand. We're 16th, I think, if we win the game in hand. So there's always a chance. But it's just, you're right. I was gutted, and it was like I couldn't wait for the game to end. Really. couldn't wait to game. It was just such a poor performance from us. Such a
Yeah,
poor.
I listen. I got overconfident as well as yourselves. I think, well, not you, but some of your fans, because I thought it was going to be. I've seen Sheffield United play at the Emirates; it was awful. I've seen Sheffield United get battered and hold 8 by Newcastle, and I think it was 6. Was it from Villa or 5? I can't remember. But
Well,
I
they
thought
lost 5-0 3 times. They've
crazy.
lost 5-0 3 times, 8-0, and they just come and they just had the game plan, and the game plan was perfect.
I mean, to be fair, Wilder's improved them since those 8 against us in Newcastle, but I still fancied him, man. I really do. I really did. And hopefully you'll bounce back from it, mate, and get the players like the Adebayos and the Ogbenis and Barclays that have been, smashing it for you.
All of those on Saturday, Adebayo accepted. He was pretty cool, but, Barkley had sort of a good game, but a little bit off. Ogbeni not in the game. Doherty's not crossing very well, and it's just totally not what we've been about this season. We've been about that high press. We've been about moving the ball quickly. We've been about great crosses, good set pieces, and we had none of that this weekend. I only hope it comes back for Super Sunday because it's Manchester United, and it was so nice to win. But let's be realistic; they've just found a bit of form, haven't they? So, and they 5th in the league now or somewhere up there. And it just is daunting to think that, the next fixtures are the ones that we need all the points deductions to be confirmed for. And we just need a little bit of luck. So I don't expect us to win at Anfield. I don't expect us to win, obviously, at Manchester City. Who does that? So for us, it's a case of, I think we said on our own podcast, a very big opportunity missed for us to give ourselves a big boost. And what we've done is given Sheffield United fans and the team a little bit of a boost now because they're a bit closer. And they were dead and buried a while ago. Now, like Natalie said, Burnley look like the ones that won't escape that bottom place. And Sheffield United might be thinking, well, we've beaten Luton, so we can get some more. And Crystal Palace and Everton and Nottingham Forest are all being dragged into it, So, yeah, we didn't do ourselves any favours. That's what I'm saying. And it was a bit sad.
Yeah, tight down the bottom there, Connor. I mean, I watched your game against Man City, and I've got to compliment you and criticise Everton, man. The compliment I'll give you is, in the league, off the ball, Everton are class, man. Off the ball, like I must say. On the ball, bro, it was frustrating the hell out of me, man. Like, I'm looking at Jack Harrison, like, what's happening with him? He looked bloody awful on the ball. I think, what is wrong with this kid, man? I thought he was all right. Was he at Leeds? And I thought, he looks like a good player. If it's because of position you're trying to play him behind DCL or whatever, but he couldn't do anything. Calvert-Lewin, I mean, fair play, tries to do stuff, but so frustrating. And all of it was slow. And I was thinking, and you had great opportunities at times to actually get in behind them. And just players are making poor decisions. And it was slow. And I was getting a hell of absolute headache. So how you must be feeling must have been even 10 times worse. Obviously, I've got emotion with it because I want Man City to somehow slip up, right? But I'm looking at myself thinking, if Everton could actually play a little bit of football on, it'd actually be half decent. Now, credit to Dyche because he makes you hard to beat. And even City, to be fair, were knocking on the door for a while. It weren't like they were obliterating you. But at the same time, Everton off the ball, brilliant. But on the ball, Connor, it was poor at times, man.
Yeah, I mean, I will caveat it with it is City. They are treble-winning champions for a reason. But yeah, I mean, the positives were, defensively we look good. The corner, I mean, there's dubious. There's people are arguing, is it a corner, isn't it? And then as soon as that went in, I think we you got to press then, haven't you? And Haaland absolutely bodied Branthwaite for the second, proving that as good as Gerard Branthwaite is, Haaland is just
elite.
As physical. Yeah, he's an elite striker with a great physical presence as well. So there's not much you can do when somebody runs that quickly and is that powerful and is that deadly as well. So it's a bit of a tough one. Yeah, I know what you mean. We did look a bit sluggish. Calvert-Lewin, I think, is still struggling massively. And I think that might be the one thing that comes back to bite us. Defensively, I think we're up there for clean sheets. But need goals to win games, and we are really struggling up front for goals. Harrison, it's an odd position. It's the role Decore plays for us, and we're trying desperately to fill the gap, but nobody seems to be up for it. But Harrison as a whole, when he was playing out wide, even if we stay up and we can afford to buy him, I don't know if we should. He's very hot and cold, and I I think he blows cold more than he blows hot. Scored a great goal as well, that he's got, the first couple of games he had for us. But yeah, he's very hot and cold, and a couple of Leeds fans I know are really keen for us to buy him, which is never a good sign when people are chomping at the bit for you to buy their players. So yeah.
I watched him, like Joe. You obviously like Jack Harrison. He was great at you. To be fair, he was good at Leeds. But watched him against City, and I know it's against City. And Connor's got a good point actually. And maybe I'm going over the top because I was frustrated. But I know every time he got the ball, it was just the wrong decision making. He was smashing it rashly over the bar at times. I think there was one chance he really had where he just needed to keep a cool head. I didn't like him in that position. I'm with Connor. I don't think he's that number 10 player behind Calvert-Lewin. I know that he needs someone to try and stick it to him and try and support Calvert-Lewin, but I was really disappointed with him, man. And I don't know if you've watched any of Jack Harrison and what you thought of him as a player, but I'm not going to pile on Jack Harrison because he's not the only player at Everton. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure if that's working for him at Everton, man. What do you think, Joe?
I like Jack, me. They tends to be. It made me laugh when you said hot and cold because there was a lot of Leeds fans that used to call him hot and cold Harrison.
Oh, really?
But yeah. But I never agreed with it. Listen, I think sometimes you have to accept where you are as a football club, and if Jack Harrison was consistent all the time, he'd be playing for a top 6 side, not a team that's bottom end of the league. For me, I've always maintained this, and listen, Leeds fans will disagree with me massively, but for me, he was our most consistent performer during our time in the Premier League. Yeah, we had Rafinha for little spells and all that sort of stuff, but in the 3 years that we were there, that he stayed, he was the most consistent performer. Again, people will disagree with me, but I really like him. Look, he's not got a future at Leeds. He's not helped himself because his mum has been spouting about we don't want him going back to that football club and stuff in the terraces. I don't know if you've seen that. That was a video that got clocked up. So Leeds fans aren't keen on him anymore. To be honest, Leeds fans aren't keen on any of them players that left us. That all went on to pastures new. That includes Adams, Sinisterra. They're all called rats now, so they ain't got a future at our place anyway, mate. So I think, he'll leave, and I think he's a decent Premier League player for that level. I think, I don't know what the rest of the lads think, but I'd imagine Emilio might take him. I'd imagine Dave might take him. I don't know about Dan. I like him, mate. Maybe I've just got Bielsa squad blinkers on or something, and I love him. But yeah, I think he's all right.
He works hard. I'll give him that. He works really hard. Yeah, he's got a lot of energy and he tracks back well defensively. I will give him that. I just think sometimes his decision making is a little bit, but he's probably one of our only players in the squad that have that bit of magic. Him, maybe Dan Juma, who we don't see a lot of, that could pull out a worldie of a goal, could make a really good pass. I think he's one of the only few that has that little bit of magic in him. So, and he's got a good first touch as well. I have to give him that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know, Emilio, you've got Harry Wilson and Willian, I suppose, who are probably taking Harrison. I don't know.
He was one that we were touting last summer. I think we were looking at the clubs that went down, which players will be good enough to play in our system. And at the end of the day, I think he would have given us a bit more pace, a bit more quality. But to be honest, we're doing okay. To be honest, I know we've got a bit of an aging squad. We've got the oldest team in the Premier League, but things are. We've got the foundations there. We just need to think about next season. I think this season is all about survival. Push up the table a little bit now because we've got an important win against Bournemouth last week. Disappointing Sam is not on the show tonight. He was giving it the big one this time last week, wasn't he? Saying, never lost at Craven Cottage since the 90s. Of course, we're going to win 3-0. I went, okay. I said to him, keep saying that. You never know what the result's going to be. But yeah.
I love it when people give it to Emilio. He always remembers the word, phase by phase, word by word. He remembers it, man.
I remember it. Come on, just be, so I was saying, big it up even further because then you're going to fall flat on your face. And go back to Jack Harrison. Look, I was looking. I was thinking he could be a good addition to the squad. But you look back in hindsight now. Why was there underinvestment at our club last summer? Where was the investment in January? Everyone's shit scared about this whole FFP stuff. Really, let's be honest. That's the thing. So it's Everton and Forest are under pressure. Other teams are being investigated. You can see why the board maybe didn't really invest in the club last season at the end of last season as they expected. But look, I think we've got a good set of players. We haven't got the biggest squad in the world. It's an aging squad, but there's this togetherness. What Natalie was saying at Burnley, that's not there. least with Fulham, you could see that. The players are playing for each other, they're fighting for each other, they're battling for each other. We don't always going to get the results, but we keep chipping away, keep picking up points here and there.
This new striker, Emilio, as well. This striker.
Yeah, he's done. It's 2 games in. He broke his duck against Burnley the week before last, and I think that will give him confidence. Without breaking that duck, the emotions that poured out of after scoring that goal. He's young, he's raw. You never know what you're going to get, and he scored two good goals, Mitrovic style goals last week. Dare I say it? He got behind the defence for his first goal last week, a poacher's goal, and the second one was a great volley back of the net. That's typical Mitrovic strikes. So can he maintain it? We'll see. I thought he picked up a knock towards the back end of the game last year. I saw him hobbling, but let's see if he's going to start on Saturday against Villa. Broja's come from Chelsea. He's not, if Rodrigo Muniz is fit, he's not. Broja's not going to start on Saturday, so he has to earn his right. But fair play. He's 22 years old. I wrote him off. Many people have written him off, but he's what more can you do? 2 goals, 3 goals in 2 games, giving us a bit of hope because we've got nobody else. We've only got 2 strikers. That's the thing. So we are very, very thin up front, but as long as we keep picking up the points, crawl our way to safety. We've got players back from the African Nations tournament, so there'll be 2 of them back this weekend, probably both on the bench. Players are coming back from injury as well. Wilson came back from injury, a few other defenders. So we've got the foundations of a full squad, shall we say? And we will hurt teams. We're able to hurt teams on the day, and let's see. It's all about picking up points. We've got Villa on Saturday. Winnable. I know Villa are not playing at the level they were, say, a couple of months ago. Billy's still complaining, yet they're top 4. So it's like, goodness me, what more do you want? You're top
Must 4. Be a good season if you're complaining.
You're still complaining. So it's so let's not give them respect. And let's play with pride. We're at home. We've got a chance. Villa are Villa. No, just we've swapped places with them in relegated and promoted over the last few seasons. So we've got a great manager there, but we've got a great manager ourselves. So let's see. It'll be an interesting game on Saturday. It'll be an open game, probably lots of goals, and hopefully we can get another 3 points on the board.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's a good time to play Aston Villa at the moment. They're a bit dusty in parts, to be fair.
Yeah.
I have to say, listen, before we come to some prediction for this weekend, Joe, Leeds are smashing it, my bro. Looks like you're joining us in the Premier League next season. But there's 4 of you, man. I mean, literally, there's 4 of you, and the rest of the league is pretty much praying to get the last couple of places in the playoffs, like the West Broms and like Hulls and Sunderland's are all fighting down there. But Southampton, you've mentioned, Ipswich Town dropped off a bit, but still won't go away. Leicester absolutely walking the league. And yourselves, man. I mean, confident for automatics, or is it going to be playoffs and very tight?
No. I think we. It sounds mad, but I think we're sorted now. I'm as confident as it comes.
Big up, Lil Dan, by the way. Sorry, Joe. I know you got to go, bro. Big up,
Dan. It's very rude of you to leave as I was talking.
Take some flipping strepsils with his microphone, yeah. Make sure you get yourselves promoted, Joe, because I don't care who gets promoted. Just keep West Brom down. That's all I'm asking of you. If I have to see your face every week, Joe, it's fine. Just keep West Brom in the Championship. We're all good. And Emilio, Villa are 5th in the league now. The wheels have come off. I'm back you this weekend. Take care, guys.
Good man. Yes.
Love you, Dan. Take care, bro.
Is my mic all right now? Or is
it's really Dalek-y, man. It's like Dalek-y, bro. I don't know if it's. I don't know what is happening. Unless it's just me. Can anyone else hear it?
No, it's a bit poor.
Is this better?
That's better, mate. That's better.
Right, okay. I'll switch to this. I'm having loads of issues. I'm doing too much work, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, man. Need a break, bro.
Yeah. No, I think we'll secure second spot now. It's hard to lose, which might sound a bit mad, because Southampton have a game in hand, and if they win that game in hand, they go a point above us. But we play them the final day of the season. Obviously, we're undefeated at home at the minute. If we can keep that running, look, at the end of the day, we've played 7 games in 2024. We've won all 7. We've scored 17 goals and conceded 1. That's just unbelievable. Joe Rodon and Ampadu at the back are phenomenal. Kamara and Ilya Gruev in midfield are hitting 95% plus accurate, passing accuracy every game, and they're not sideways like Harry Wanks does at Leicester. They're forward, do you know what I mean? They penetrate. And then up front, mate, like Somerville, unbelievable. Can't wait for him to get back in the Premier League and show what he's about. He showed flashes. Obviously, he scored against Liverpool when we beat them at Anfield, but a proper full season in the Championship do these lads wonders. Nonto's now hitting form as well. I think he's got
Yeah,
4 in 5 or 6, something like that. And then Rutter, who we spent like 30 million on, wasn't the guy we needed at the time. You know, we needed a goal scorer that was going to find the back of the net. It was poor by at the time, but now you think, do you know what? Like, honestly, Dan, the player to watch in that 10 is just phenomenal. His finishing's terrible, but everything outside of that is just amazing.
Who's that? Sorry?
So, Gio Rutter, Jorginho Rutter.
Sorry, Rutter, yeah.
Yeah. Bamford's back. Who knew? Yeah.
Probably
I mean,
one of the
although
goals
he
of the
did
season, man. Goals of the season.
in the FA Cup.
That
He'll
was
get the
insane.
Puskas, you know. He's going to get the Puskas. Imagine that.
Why, ahead of Garnacho?
Yeah, no, he will. That's better than Garnacho's.
I don't know, man. That Garnacho
Of course.
class, man.
Mate, you, me, right? And listen, this isn't discredit to Garnacho, right? You and me could swing a leg at it, right? And I know it's more than that. Please hear me out. I'm not, no. But me and you could swing. Bamford has controlled the ball that's in midair, yeah, and then flicked it over. It's a totally different level of finish. They spoke about Gary Neville and Alan Shearer. At the end of the day, you know, Garnacho, yeah, it's amazing, but I still think Bamford wins the Puskas ahead of him. But of course, I'm going to say that. I'd be interested to see what you lads think.
I
Which
think
is the better goal?
Well, Connor will say you because it was against Everton. So Connor's happy for.
Yes, Connor.
I'll go Garnacho, man. Well, what about you boys?
I'm on the fence. I'm not upset either of you, so I'll be on the fence.
Don't say it, man.
I'm just going to.
Dan's a secret Man United fan.
I can't stand Man United. I think Garnacho. I just have to be real, man. I thought it was. I watched it live. Maybe that's what it was. I watched it live. I saw Bamford's on replay. Maybe that's what it was. But I watched it live and I just went, "Whoa!" And I don't even support Man United. I was like, "There's stuff like that." As a football fan, you can't sit still and go, "Oh, what a shame," can you? Like you just go, "Wow!" The reaction was insane, man. I can't even.
Great goal.
Yeah, it was.
Great goal.
But yeah. Listen, so was Bamford's. I mean, they were talking about 2 great goals here. We're not trying to knock one of them and say the other one was crap. But at the same time, I don't know. I just look at that Garnacho one and think, wow, what's going on?
If Garnacho gets it, it's purely because he plays for Man United. Bamford's is better. What it is. Do you know? Top six again. Top 6 elitism. That's what will win in that. I'm telling you.
It actually will, man. It will be that. But now you're scoring goals, man. I looked at the goal difference, and I think that is. I mean, the teams that are scoring the most are up there, and that's what they say. When you look at goal difference, that's the way. You know, some people the 1-0s, the 2-1s, the 1-0s, they're up there, but then you look at their goal difference, you think, oh my god, they've got like +8, and Leeds have got like +35, and Leicester have got plus this and plus that. But I mean, I've got to say it. Richo in the chat, brought it up earlier. Where is it? I missed it now. You got Leicester next. He said, here it is.
So yeah.
Big game for Leeds next week.
We've already beat them at their place. It's a formality. Leeds are undefeated at home. Don't worry about it, boys.
Mate, you hate them as well, don't you?
Nah, I don't. Listen, I get called obsessed by Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton fans. I don't think people understand that. I don't care about these, but obviously you stand in the way of Leeds United right now. So like. That's why I dislike, not dislike it, but that's what. So like I'm watching games and they go, "You're obsessed about us," and I'm like, "Well, no, I'm watching your game because if you lose, that helps us."
Of course it does.
Like 100%. If you were at opposite ends of the table, I won't be watching you. Do you know what I mean? There seems to be this mad thing you're not allowed to watch other teams. Yeah. Look, I think Leicester will win the league, but if we beat them next Friday at Ellen Road, who knows? Second half of the season, we're going on a title charge. One of them ones, isn't it?
I know you and Locks have been at it though, man. Even last season, it was like, yeah, exactly. That's why it's Leicester and Leeds have got this thing with you two, man. Because Locks can get that way, can't he? But no, big up to you, man. I hope you come back up. I've always said that, mate. I do want Ipswich to go up as well, though, because they're the localist one to me. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be criminal if they don't go up the way they've been. It's been an unbelievable story then, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I think it's Leicester and Leeds, if I'm honest, and then it's a coin toss after that in the playoffs, isn't it? You never know what the hell's happening then. Once you go in the playoffs, it's not about how good you've been.
Do you know? And I hate to say this to Dan, if the playoffs, if West Brom get in the playoffs, Carlos Corberán in a one-off game shootout there's not many better, in my opinion, because he sets his teams up for the opposition as opposed to his style. I wouldn't want to face West Brom in the playoffs, if I'm honest. So the thing is as well, Dan, I do think, let's say it does go to that final game, Leeds versus Southampton at Ellen Road. Whoever loses that, it'll be so hard for them to then get up for the playoffs. After having a 46-game season, taking it to the last day, then getting beat, if that's us or them, to then know, oh God, we've got to go again. I think mentally it'll be tough. So yeah.
Yeah, interesting, man. Interesting. Listen, let's do some predictions, shall we, to close the show off? Mate, I'll start with you, Joe. Why not? What's happening with Leeds, and what's your prediction for the scoreline, mate?
Oh, we've got Plymouth Argyle. I don't know if you guys at the top six know who they are, Dan, but they're a team down in Plymouth called Green Army.
Green Army.
Yeah, exactly. Remember the advert?
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
This will be the fourth time we've played them this season because we played them in the cup and the replay, and we've not lost yet. I think we beat them 2-0. 2-0, mate. Nice and comfortable one.
Interesting one, man. Connor, what you saying? Who you got and what you saying for a score prediction, mate?
We've got Palace on Monday, which is interesting. I mean, will Hodgson be there?
That's huge.
Yeah. I said last week, didn't I thought they were sleepwalking into it. They're missing big players. Will Roy Hodgson be there? Apparently, he was ill today. So if he is genuinely ill, will he be there irregardless, or is that just that they're about to sack him? Who knows? By then, I don't think the new manager is going to have much of a training session, is he? If he comes in, say now on a Friday or Saturday, he's going to one day, and I doubt they're going to train with travelling. So I can see it being a caretaker if they don't sack him before Monday. I don't know. We've got a good record against Palace, and they are around us. And if you want to stay up, you have got to sort of beat the ones around you. I'd like to think 2-0 just because we're very, very defensively stable. So clean sheets, I'm more confident claiming. Maybe 1-0 actually with our goal scoring. I think 1-0. They've got no Elise, Eze either. So I'm not, they're the players when we've played them, we've caused issues, mainly for falling over in the box, but they do cause issues and they run at you. So if they've not got them running at us, I don't know. I'd say 1-0.
Be optimistic, man. I think you'll be fine against Palace. Listen, it's a good time to play and miss now, bro. I'll tell you that now. Palace are the ones that I worry for relegation for sure because it's just a mess. It looks just a mess top to bottom in terms of the fans want the owners out. No manager situation, injured players. And I think, if I'm honest, if they do go down, there'll probably be 4 or 5 players that people will have. I mean, Mark Gehi, Anderson, Elise Eze. Even Tariq Mitchell is a good player.
Can you imagine the D meltdown, bro?
D is finished, man.
Please invite me on that stream if they get relegated, please.
Yeah, man, 100. It will be biblical. Dave, what are you saying, bro, at the weekend?
All right, so let's be optimistic for a change and not pessimistic. We haven't had that outstanding result against one of the big teams, have we? We've had those nearly results. We've been saying we nearly beat Arsenal. We nearly got a point from Arsenal. We nearly done it on West Ham and Tottenham and the rest of them. So I'm going to be perfectly optimistic and say we're going to sneak a win. I just feel that we're going to sneak a win. I don't care how many goals it's by. 1 will be enough. So I'm hoping that we can sneak a win. And I've got to be realistic and think, maybe that won't happen, but I'm going to try and just be positive for a bit and go, we're going to sneak a 1-0.
Is it? Where is it?
Home. Academy
back.
Yeah, and it's live on Sky, so you can all tune in and have a laugh if I get it wrong. But at the end of the day,
I want you to win.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we just haven't had that trophy, like a trophy team win. Really, you know what I'm trying to say? It's about time we had that. We just haven't done it, so why not? Why not be Manchester United then beat Man City in the FA Cup? That'll do me.
That'll do me. Not asking for much today, Dave.
Why not? I can dream.
Man, you got a dream, man. You got a dream. Luton are in the Premier League, man. Of course, you got a dream. Emilio, you've said it. Villa, good time to play them. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm confident on Saturday. We've got more of our, like I said, players back from national duty from the African nations top. I think 3-2. I think there'll be goals in the game. Watkins, dare I say, has been a little bit quiet. He's been off colour recently. There's all that big fuss made about him about a month or so ago. Gone a little bit quiet. Bit of conceding goals. We've started to find a bit of form not in the last couple of games. So I think I fancy us. I think, like I said, let's not give them the respect that they deserve. We go in there open-minded. I think we can compete with them. We've competed with them for many a season. Why can't this year be any different? So I'm going for a 3-2 win. I think there'll be goals in this game. So 3-2 to Fulham.
Wow. That's fantastic, man. If you get that done, can I assume that Dave and Connor, you're Arsenal fans at the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
100%.
Love it, man. Love it. I think we'll do you a favour. Well, I hope we will anyway. We've got to be Burnley away. Crikey. If we can put 6 past West Ham away, we should be able to put a few past Burnley. Let's be honest. But we'll see. Listen, gentlemen, absolute legends. Thank you so much for coming on. Big up to Dave. Make sure you go follow Dave, When the Town podcast, and make sure you go follow Emilio as well over at Cottage Talk. For all Fulham content. Make sure you follow Connor, who's always on Everton content, on his Twitter handle there. And make sure you go to Just Joe. And of course, the Wolves fancast from Dan, Lil Dan earlier for all Wolves content. And the No Nay Never podcast for Natalie. We're out of here, people. Take it easy. We'll see you next time. And as always, up the Arsenal. Laters.